Gabriela Mistral was born in 1889 in a fairly remote provincial part of Chile, in the north of Chile. She was born of relatively modest means, and like Sor Juana Inés de la Cruz, demonstrated early on a literary and intellectual talent that eventually led her into education. So her first profession was teaching. She became a teacher in or around her hometown, and eventually then ascended into higher positions in the educational world. And she became one of the strongest advocates for education in Chile and arguably around the world, using her poetic talents, using her career as a poet. She launched a diplomatic and an advocacy career that led her eventually into some pretty major positions, including in the League of Nations as the Latin American representative in the League for Intellectual Cooperation. All along the way, she was a staunch supporter for the education of children. Children were really her first concern. One of her most famous poems that's frequently quoted is a poem called "Their Name is Today," or "His Name is Today," "Su nombre es hoy." And in it, she basically says, there are so many things that we can put off until tomorrow. So many concerns and so many things of this life that can be put off tomorrow. But the one thing that we can't put off tomorrow is our children. Because they are today. We cannot tell them tomorrow. Their name is today, is her argument. That we have to always think about the children. Always think about how we are cultivating within children an appreciation for beauty, an appreciation for culture, an ability to articulate themselves, their ideas, their own appreciation for beauty. She saw the teacher as really an evangelizer for beauty, an evangelizer for culture. And she has this poem written in her 1922, one of the most famous books that she wrote, called Desolación, or Desolation, called The Rural Teacher, La Maestra Rural. She says, "La maestra era pura, los suaves hortelanos decía, de este predio, que es predio de Jesús, han de conservar puros los ojos y las manos, guardar claros sus óleos para dar clara luz. La maestra era pobre, su reino no es humano, así en el doloroso sembrador de Israel. Vestía sayas pardas, no enjollaba su mano, y era todo su espíritu un inmenso joyel. Como un henchido vaso traía el alma hecha para volcar aljófares sobre la humanidad. Y era su vida humana la dilatada brecha que suele abrirse el Padre para echar claridad." So what she's saying here, to paraphrase it, is that the teacher is a gentle gardener of a plot that is the plot of God, that is Jesus's patch, basically. Children are the plot of God, in which teachers will sow the seeds of faith, sow the seeds of beauty, sow the seeds of knowledge. And so the teacher has to maintain herself, and in this case she's feminine, maintain herself as a pure and clear articulator of what is beautiful and what is good. Education was a way to impart clarity and beauty in what is good. And that education is not to be limited to the upper echelons of society. For Gabriela Mistral, that education has to be for everyone, especially the poorest. And in Chile at this time, and in much of the world at this time, access to education was quite limited. So her work was essential in bringing education to thousands of people around the Americas.